Disney World may be about to lose its unusual status as a special tax district in Florida. The state's governor, Ron DeSantis, signed a bill into law Friday revoking it. Disney World has had near total control of its land since 1967, when the state designated the area as the Reedy Creek Improvement District. Disney essentially operates as its own county government and even taxes itself. But if the law goes into full effect next year, Orange and Osceola counties will control the district, which covers nearly 40 square miles. For more on this, Jim DeFede joins me now. Jim is an investigative reporter with CBS News in Miami. Welcome, Jim. So tell us, why did Governor DeSantis and Florida Republicans feel like this was the right move right now?
Because Disney dared to defy the governor. It's just that simple. This was a bill that came out of nowhere. And the Disney Corporation, at the end of last session, which was just wrapped up a few weeks ago, came out and offered a mealy-mouthed statement against the bill that critics called the Don't Say Gay bill. They didn't lobby against it, mind you. They didn't fight or send their lobbyists into Tallahassee to try to kill the bill. They simply made a statement after it passed saying that they did not think it was a good idea. As a result, the governor started to go after Disney. And to show you how quickly, and this is all about politics and power, and it's about the governor exercising his power and silencing critics, is that this bill wasn't even supposed to be heard during the legislative session that just wrapped up last week. This bill wasn't even on the agenda. It was brought up at noon on the day of the session and heard its first committee hearing within a few hours and was passed and signed into law within a couple of days. Nothing ever moves this quickly that has this sort of ramification. You know, there's been a lot of coverage lately about how Florida is banning certain books, math textbooks that have critical race theory or other things alleged to be inside of them. I'll tell you one book that is not being banned in Florida. It's The Prince by Machiavelli, because the governor has made the decision it is better to be feared than loved. And this was a message being sent to anyone else who might ever challenge or say anything against anything that he wants, that this is the price they'll pay. And I can tell you from my own reporting that there are groups that wanted to endorse, for instance, one of the Democratic candidates, groups you would expect to endorse a Democratic candidate, that are now afraid to, for fear of what the governor might do to them as a result. This is the meaning of this bill. This bill was purely about sending a message to anyone who might defy Governor Ron DeSantis.
So, Jim, if this is pure political payback, it still has real implications for taxpayers in Florida, where Disney is located. Tell us if it does, in fact, come into existence. And we know that it's supposed to happen by 2023, I think June 2023. What would the actual implications be?
So the two counties that straddle Disney is Osceola County and Orange County. If you do away with the tax district, and essentially what Disney does, as you described earlier, they issue bonds. They build their own roads. They have their own fire department. They have their own police department. They create their own power and electricity. They do all of it internally, and they do it by issuing bonds. Well, if you remove their tax status, then all of the debt that Disney has is transferred to those local counties and cities. So the taxpayers in those counties and cities would absorb a $1 billion debt as a result of this going away. So not only that, but there are credit rating agencies who have begun to look and put Florida on a watch list because of this, because of the potential financial ramifications. So while the governor is sending a message, he's also not just hurting the state's economy, but potentially threatening the taxpayers in Central Florida who are going to be on the hook to pay for this if this was in fact enacted.
So, Jim, do you think, given all of that, and not to mention just the logistical nightmare, we're talking essentially about a county being absorbed into two other counties that has had its own law enforcement, its own fire department, its own road maintenance, et cetera. What would you say the odds are that its special tax status will, in fact, be stripped away come June of 2023?
Yeah, I think there's virtually no chance that it will. I think next year the legislature will end up rolling this back. They may do a few cosmetic tweaks to the district. For instance, under the agreement that's 55 years old, if Disney wanted to build their own nuclear power plant, for instance, they would be able to under the current agreement. Disney's never expressed any interest in creating a nuclear power plant, so they'll take little things like that out of it, declare victory, and move on. The point is, they will have neutralized Disney for a year, forced Disney into the position of having to play nice with Florida Republicans over the next year. We'll see how that plays out in terms of their giving to Florida Republicans in terms of campaign contributions over the next few months, and it keeps them in line. But bottom line is, this is about sending a message to everyone else. Once Disney is put in line, put in their place, and Ron DeSantis wins re-election, I think that the legislature will roll this back. They don't even understand the ramifications of this bill. The two sponsors of this bill were handed this bill the day before they were introduced. They didn't write the bills. These were handed to them out of the governor's office. And as a result, they couldn't even answer basic questions as to what the ramifications of these bills are. I mean, you're doing something that has such a huge impact. They didn't even have committee hearings on this. They had, well, let me rephrase that. They had a committee hearing, but it was so quickly that nobody from Orlando or their affected areas could travel to Tallahassee in time to actually participate in the committee hearings. That's how quickly this was rammed through.
All right, Jim DeFede, thank you.